Your window is stuck halfway. You press the switch. Nothing happens. You press it again. Still nothing. Now the first thought is obvious. The motor is dead. And maybe it is. But not every stuck power window starts with a bad motor. Sometimes the problem is electrical. Sometimes the glass is physically stuck. And if you guess wrong, you may replace a motor that was never the real problem. So instead of thinking, my window motor is dead, think of it this way. Is the car failing to move the window, or is the window refusing to move? Those sound similar, but they are not the same problem. Let's start with the electrical side. When you press the window switch, power has to travel from the car's electrical system, through a fuse, through the switch, through wiring, and finally to the window motor. If anything in that path fails, the motor may never get the signal. So the window just sits there. No movement, no sound, no reaction. That does not automatically mean the motor is bad. A weak switch can do the same thing. A blown fuse can do the same thing. A wiring issue can do the same thing. Even a bad connection inside the door can make the window work one day and fail the next. One simple clue is sound. When you press the switch, listen carefully. Do you hear a click, a weak hum, a small movement inside the door, or is it completely silent? If it is completely silent, the problem may be on the electrical side. The switch may not be sending power, the fuse may be blown, the motor may be dead, or there may be a wiring problem between them. But if you hear the motor trying, that changes the story. A humming sound, a grinding sound, or a short movement can mean the motor is alive, but the window is not moving properly. That points more toward the mechanical side. And this is where many drivers make the wrong call. They hear something inside the door and still think, motor. But a working motor can still fail to move the glass. If the regulator is broken, the regulator is the mechanism that moves the window up and down. It can use cables, arms, tracks, rollers, or guides, depending on the vehicle. When the regulator fails, the motor may still run, but the glass may not move. Or the glass may drop down suddenly. Or it may tilt forward, or it may move a little, then get stuck again. That is not always a motor problem. That can be a regulator problem. Now let's talk about the glass itself. Sometimes the window is not stuck because of the motor or the switch. Sometimes the glass is fighting the door. The window may be off track. The channel may be dirty. The rubber guide may be tight. There may be debris inside the window track, or the glass may be binding as it moves. This is especially common when the window moves slowly or only gets stuck in one certain spot. For example, maybe it goes down fine, then struggles to come back up. Maybe it works in the morning, but gets worse later in the day. Maybe it moves a few inches, then stops. Then after waiting a minute, it works again. That can happen when the motor is weak. But it can also happen when the window is dragging too much. The motor overheats, stops for a while, then works again after cooling down. So an on and off window does not always mean the switch is bad, and it does not always mean the motor is dead. It may mean the motor is getting tired, or it may mean the glass is too hard to move. Here is something regular drivers can notice without removing the door panel. Look at how the glass sits in the door. Is it straight? Or is one side lower than the other? When it moves, does it tilt? Does it shake? Does it sound rough? Does it scrape? Does it slow down near the top? Does it move faster going down than going up? Those clues matter. A window that tilts or drops unevenly may be off track. A window that grinds may have a regulator issue. A window that moves slowly may have dirty channels, a weak motor, or both. A window that does absolutely nothing may be electrical. And a window that works from one switch but not another may point toward the switch. For example, if the driver's master switch cannot move a passenger window, but the passenger switch can, that tells you something. If none of the windows work, that tells you something else. That could be a main fuse, a power supply issue, a lockout button, or a master switch problem. So the smartest move is not to force the glass. That is important. If the window is stuck halfway, say do not keep holding the switch for a long time. Do not push hard on the glass. Do not slam the door, hoping it will fix itself. And do not try to force the glass up if it feels jammed. Glass can crack, the regulator can bend, the cable can snap, and the motor can overheat. A stuck window is annoying, but forcing it can make the repair more expensive. If the window is open and rain is coming, The goal is to protect the interior safely. You can cover the opening from the outside with plastic or a temporary cover until it can be inspected, but avoid taping directly in a way that damages paint or weather stripping. And if the glass is loose inside the door, professional help is safer because loose glass can fall suddenly. Now, let's separate the problem in a simple way. If you press the switch and there is no sound at all, think electrical first. Switch, fuse, power, wiring, or a dead motor. If you press the switch and hear the motor but the glass does not move, think mechanical first. Regulator, track, cable, window channel, or glass off track. If the window works sometimes, then fails other times. It could be either side. A weak switch can work only when it wants to. A weak motor can stop when it gets hot. A dirty channel can make the window struggle. A failing regulator can jam in certain positions. That is why the behavior matters more than guessing the part. The window is trying to tell you where the problem is. Silent window. Maybe no power is reaching the motor. Motor noise, but no movement? Maybe the motor is not connected to the glass properly anymore. Slow movement. Maybe the glass is dragging, or the motor is getting weak. Crooked glass. Maybe the window is off track, grinding or popping. The regulator may be failing. And if the glass suddenly drops into the door, that is a strong sign the regulator or its connection to the glass has failed. At that point, do not keep testing it. The glass needs to be secured and inspected. This is where a mechanic or auto glass technician should look at it. They can remove the door panel safely, support the glass, test power at the motor, inspect the regulator, and see whether the problem is electrical or physical. Because from the outside, many window problems look the same. The window is stuck. That is all you see. But inside the door, the cause can be completely different. One car may need a switch. Another may need a fuse. Another may need a motor. Another may need a regulator. And another may only have a window that is jammed in the channel. So before assuming the motor is dead, pause for a moment. Listen. Watch how the glass sits. Notice whether it is silent, humming, grinding, tilting, or moving slowly. Those clues can save you from replacing the wrong part. The practical summary is simple. A stuck power window is usually either an electrical problem or a physical movement problem. Electrical means the switch, fuse, wiring, power supply, or motor may not be doing its job. Mechanical means the regulator, track, glass position, or window channel may be stopping the glass from moving. And if the glass is crooked, jammed, loose, or making rough noises, do not force it. That is when professional help is safer, because the real question is not just, is the motor bad? The better question is the window getting power, or is the glass stuck? So what about your car? Is your power window stuck up, stuck down, or stuck halfway?